Hey guys, happy Friday. Don't forget to get your Lexia done so you can get those bonus points. Breakout. Let's read some more. All right. Saturday, June 15th, from Owen's Master Plans and Evil Plots Notebook. Stinky new plan for crummy birthday cookout. Okay. Stupid fake bat cave in living room. Boring pizza. Indoor brownies. Indoor Rice Krispie treats. Lame s'mores cooked over dome fireplace. Saturday, June 15th, recorded on Lizzie's Whisper Flash Z190 during our run. Sean, okay, you guys can start your run and I'll follow. Lizzie, great. If the run doesn't kill me, I might die of embarrassment. Nora, you do have a pocket for this. Do you have a pocket for this recorder? Nora, yep, I'll take it. Let's go. Sean's radio. And now another Nashville favorite from your station for music in the mountains. Here's Big Ben the Rambler with Ain't Never Getting Over You. Elodie, what station is this? Nora, 95 MOS, Moose Country. Sean's radio. Well, I sniffled and sneezed, and I coughed and I wheezed, and I finally got over the flu. But this pain that I'm feeling don't seem like it's healing because I ain't getting over you. Elodie, we got to listen to this for 3 miles? Nora, 2.5. We have to skip part of the route because my mom won't let us run through the woods. Lizzie, I can't believe she made Sean follow us. He's like a giant car turtle stalking us at 8 miles an hour. Nora, I know. Hey, did you see that? Elodie, what? Nora, there's a guy running on the bike path by the river over there. I just saw through the trees. Lizzie, there. Nora, oh my gosh, is that the inmate? Lizzie, if it is, where's the other one? Nora, didn't you see the news? They found DNA, but only from one of them. So maybe they split up and that guy, Sean, what's up? Nora, there's a guy on that bike path. Sean, where? Whoa, wait. No, that's Kayla and Paul Washington's dad. Nora, oh yeah, it is. Sean, he's always out running. Kayla says he's training for one of those Spartan races. Nora, oh, I thought, never mind. Sean, you gonna get moving? I have to be at work by noon. Sean's radio. She took the house and the car, so I'm hitting the bar for a couple of breakup brews. She took the dog in the truck, and I feel like a schmuck just singing these broke up blues. Elodie, let's see if we can outrun this music. Nora, Lizzie, you okay back there? Lizzie, I can't keep up with your pace, but go ahead. I'll keep Sean and the lonely cowboy singer company back here. Nora, all right, but holler if we get too far ahead. Lizzie, okay. Nora, so aside from Sean's music, how do you like Wolf Creek so far? Elodie, it's okay. Nora, do you miss New York City? Elodie, yeah, like a ton. Nora, like what? Elodie, friends, family, my cousins, and my aunt and grandmama. Just everything. Taking the subway to Midtown, the cat at the bodega on my street, going there for chopped cheese sandwiches. Nora, guess they don't have those at Joe's Mountain Market. Elodie, nope. Nora, but they have great subs. There are a few good things about living here, you know? Elodie, yeah. Nora, it's quiet and safe. Elodie, safe. Huh. Nora, well, now is weird. I meant that we don't have gangs or anything. Elodie, you said that in a movie about New York City once? Nora, well, yeah, but isn't it like a thing? Elodie, in a few places, sure, but not everywhere. I have more rules here than I ever had at home. Nora, we all have dumb rules now. Once they catch those guys. Elodie, that won't fix anything. Nora, what do you mean? Elodie, different people have to follow different rules in a place like this. Mama's always on me to watch my step, watch my mouth. She always says you only have one shot to make a first impression. Nora, so that's why you came to help at the ham supper? Elodie, yeah. Nora, why didn't you sign that banner for the police then? Elodie, thank you. Law enforcement? Nora, yeah, so? Elodie, look, when the police showed up in my old neighborhood, they weren't always there to hold open the school door for us. One of them beat the snot out of my friend's brother, and you know what her brother had done? Nothing, except look a little like a guy who robbed a convenience store. He was all kinds of bruised up. Mama says Troy's lucky he's in prison and not dead. He could have been just like Tamir Rice. Nora, who's that? Elodie, seriously. Nora, who is it? Can't you just tell me? Elodie, do I look like your teacher? Go look it up. Nora, sorry, Sean! Nora, get in the car, now! Lizzie's reflections. I'm kind of glad I fell behind and missed this part of the conversation. Elodie sounded pretty ticked off at Nora. I don't blame her. She must get tired of people asking her about stuff. I'm pretty sick of people whispering about my grandma, too. Saturday, June 15th. Letter from Nora Tucker. Dear future Wolf Creek residents, I'm grounded. Mom says it's indefinite, so I may still be grounded when you read this. She won't listen to my side of the story. Here it is in case you care. No one in my time period does. First, our run got interrupted when Mom called Sean. She heard the police searching for evidence by the river, saw an inmate running into the woods, and were calling him back up to surround him. Lizzie and Elodie and I had to pile into Sean's car, but then Mom called back and said never mind because after they surrounded the inmate with their guns drawn and everything, they figured out it was just Mr. Washington. And you know what? Unless you're really far away, like we were, Mr. Washington looks nothing like that inmate. He's like a foot taller, he has a beard, and he's wearing running clothes, the fancy, expensive kind that pro athletes wear. Also, Mr. Washington has lived here forever. He's a corrections officer, but Sean says the out-of-town searchers wouldn't know that. They would know one of the inmates was black, though, so they must have just assumed any running black guy would be the escapee. That is so messed up. I can't stop thinking about what it must have been like for Mr. Washington to be out running like we were and all of a sudden have all those guns pointed at him. I bet Wolf Creek didn't feel very safe to him right then. And that makes me think about what Elodie said, how she saw things differently than I did when it came to the thank you banner. I think I get it now, at least a little. I talked to Sean about that after dinner tonight. I told him Elodie got mad at me for asking who Tamir Rice is. First, Sean told me I need to ask him about stuff like that and not keep bothering Elodie. Then he told me about Tamir. He was a kid who got shot by the police in Cleveland because he had a toy gun and they saw him as a threat. They didn't know that his gun wasn't real. Tamir was only 12 years old. Sean says Miss Medora talked about that as an example of police bias, assuming the worst about black boys. She said that never would have happened if Tamir had been a white kid with a toy gun. I keep thinking about that. Like, what if Owen had his BB gun at the park one day? Mom would never let him do that because she never lets him use it without Dad around. But what if he did? I can't imagine the police shooting him. They'd march him home to Mom. But they never hurt him. I told Sean that, and I told him Elodie's story about her friend's brother, too. And Sean started talking about how Owen has white privilege and how the thing with Elodie's friend's brother was racial profiling and how that happens all the time. And how he and Emily talk about this a lot because she's been to some Black Lives Matter protests at her college. When I asked Sean why he never talked about it at our house with our family, he just raised his eyebrow. You think that'd go over well at the dinner table? I guess not. Adults get so weird when you talk about this stuff. And Sean's already arguing with Mom and Dad about whether he'll go away to Syracuse for college or stay here. If they think he's just going so he can hang out at protests with Emily, he'll be enrolled in Wolf Creek Community College before he knows what hit him. But I'm glad he told me, at least. I wish I knew more about all of this. It's weird. When I think about the police officers I know, Uncle Tommy and those guys, I can't imagine them being so unfair. I never heard of anything like that happening here, at least not until today. That makes me wonder if that kind of attitude is new since the inmates broke out, or if it's always here, just sort of hiding. Anyway, after the whole situation with Mr. Washington was over, Lizzie and Elodie and I got to finish our run. Elodie and I raced the last block. She won by a bunch, and then she asked if we were still coming over. I was supposed to say no. I was supposed to go straight home after we ran. But I stood there thinking about what had just happened to Mr. Washington. Even before I talked to Sean, I knew nobody would have bothered my dad or Sean if they'd gone out for a run today, even though one of those escaped inmates is white. Then I thought about how Walker and Cole, Mrs. Roy, and Mrs. Jablonski had treated Elodie. My mom was doing pretty much the same thing, And moms are supposed to be better than that. I know she's all stressed out because of the prison break and dad's work, but still, she was wrong. So I said yes, because mom's decision wasn't fair. She never kept me from going to somebody's house before, even if they lived in a not so nice part of town. Mom always said that people are people, and it doesn't matter what their houses look like. The only thing different with Elodie is that she's black and that her brother is an inmate. I wasn't sure if mom was being racist or prison inmate familyist, but neither one was okay. So I went, and you know what? It was great. Elodie and Lizzie and I hung out and we talked and played Uno. The cookies were amazing and warm and peanut buttery. Elodie's mom was nice. She and Elodie must have read the same book Mom and I used to read together about the bunny who loves his mom to the moon and back, because when Elodie's mom was going upstairs, she kissed Elodie on the head and said, "Love you to Andromeda Galaxy and back." That totally embarrassed Elodie, which proves her mom and my mom would get along fine. I thought my mom would realize that. She was stressed about the inmates like all of us. But I thought if I went to Elodie's house, Mom would see later that it was the right thing to do. I still think I was right about going, but I was wrong about Mom's reaction. I'm including her text messages so you can see how mad she was. I don't see how Mom manages that with the same 26 letters everybody else gets, but she does. Your grounded friend from the past, Nora Tucker.